Well, the Bank of Canada has cut its key rate by 25 basis points, bringing it down to 2.5%. CTV Scott Hurst is following this story, joins us live with the latest. Let's talk about some of the decisions behind today's rate cut.
Jamie, good morning. What we heard from the Bank of Canada in terms of cutting the interest rate by 1/4 percentage point from 2.75 to 2.5% was, bottom line, it is proceeding with caution and it is proceeding carefully with the ongoing trade war. There was a clear consensus, however, for a rate cut this time around for the first time in several months. The first change in the interest rate we've seen since March. But what we heard in terms of tipping the balance was a clear sense the balance of the risk was shifting, according to Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem, focusing on 3 developments that have shifted that risk. One, Canada's labour market has softened further since the last change to the lending rate. Upward pressure on the underlying inflation is diminishing, and with the removal of retaliatory tariffs, there's less risk, according to the Bank of Canada Governor, on future inflation. Here's more from the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem explaining the reasonings for the rate cut this time around after several months of staying firm at 2.75%, now 2.5%.
3 developments have shifted the balance of risks since our July decision. First, Canada's labour market has softened further. Second, although there are still some mixed signals, on balance, recent data suggest upward pressures on underlying inflation have diminished. And third, with the removal of most retaliatory tariffs by Canada, there is less upside risk to future inflation.
Also heard is that the labour market, as we're seeing, has taken a major hit in industries particularly affected by tariffs, but also employment growth in other parts of the economy slowing, as well as businesses have scaled back on their hiring plans. Now, of course, a lowering of the rate could help ease borrowing for businesses and consumers as growth is lagging, Jamie, and job losses are adding up.
And what are some of the other major concerns, I guess, in the months ahead? Obviously, uncertainty around trade wars and trade deals. What are some of the other concerns?
Uncertainty is a huge problem for businesses going forward. And of course, the ongoing trade war, there's so much unpredictability coming out of the White House and really a huge shift in the global trading sense. And so that is what the bank is looking at going forward, proceeding with a lot of caution and trying to focus on a shorter term, trying to implement a shorter term plan versus really focusing on the long term, Jamie.
That's CTV's Scott Hurst. Thanks for the updates.
Thanks, Jamie.